Okay. ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ वासुदेवेन्द्रयोगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधो विधीयते। साधनचतुष्टयसम्पन्नारिणां मोक्षसाधनभूतं तत्त्वविवेकः प्रकारं वक्ष्यामः। साधनचतुष्टयं किं नित्यानित्यवस्तुविवेकः इहामुत्रार्थफलभोगविरागः शमादिषट्कसम्पत्ति मुमुक्षुत्वं चेति। नित्यानित्यवस्तुः कः? नित्यवस्त्वैकं ब्रह्म तद्व्यतिरिक्तं सर्वमनित्यम् अयमेव नित्यानित्यवस्तुः। विवेकः कः? विवेकः कः? अविरागः कः? इह स्वर्गभोगेषु इच्छाराहित्यं शमादिसाधनसम्पत्तिका शमोदम उपरमस्तितीक्षा श्रद्धा समादानं चेति। शमः कः? मनोनिग्रहः। दमः कः? चक्षुरादिबाह्येन्द्रियनिग्रहः। उपरमः कः? स्वधर्मानुष्ठानमेव। तितीक्षा का? शीतोष्णसुखदुःखादिसहिष्णुत्वं। श्रद्धा कीदृशी? गुरुवेदान्तवाक्यादिषु विश्वासश्रद्धा। समाधानं किं? चित्तैकाग्रता। मुमुक्षुत्वं किं? मोक्षो मे भूयादिति इच्छा। एतत्साधनचतुष्टयं ततस्तत्त्वविवेकस्याधिकारिणो भवन्ति। हरि ओम. So we are at the 8th class, if I am not wrong. We have completed Shruti, Smriti, what is the whole Vedas, Vedangas. We have completed Varna, Ashrama, which are the Vyavastha or the infrastructure for this to continue, and all this to achieve our goal of moksha, right? There is one more topic which we will take and then go to the main topic, which is Tattvabodha. So the topic which we are going to cover and which is important, which also comes in Tattvabodha, is related to the karma theory. Okay. Now, this karma theory I would want to first explain so that we understand what the karma theory as per what the Shastras say, and from there we will enter into the topic called Tattvabodha. Karma theory will take some time. Maybe I will try to complete it today, or even if there is a remnant, it may go even the next Saturday. This karma theory, if we have to understand, the word karma actually means action. It's a verb. The word karma means action, which is a verb. Okay. But whenever we talk about this karma theory, or with the context of karma theory, whenever we say karma, we mean ये मेरा कर्म है. When you say ये मेरा कर्म है, this is my fate, you want to actually say this is my fate, and this is not related to the verb called karma. Okay, so whenever we talk of karma, karma is an action, but most of the time karma is never talked with the context of action. It is always talked with the context of reaction. Karma phala is what we want to talk, which means the fruits of the karma is what we want to actually mean here. So karma and karma phala both are called karma as per the Shastras. And we also, in our day-to-day talks, in our colloquial language, we normally, when we say ये मेरा कर्म है और मेरा कर्म है, you mean actually karma phala and not your actual activity from the Shastra perspective. Now, what is this karma and karma phala? Karma is an action, right? We all know karma is an action. And we do so many actions every day, right? From getting up till sleeping. Our life is filled with actions, right? Now, when our life is filled with actions, for every karma there is going to be a result also. A karma phala is going to be there, correct? Karma coming back as a reaction with a period of time is called fructification of karma as karma phala. The seed what I put in the ground becomes a tree and gives me a fruit. That fruit is an outcome of my effort of putting the seed many years back. So what I put a seed fructifies and gives me as a fruit over a period of time, right? So always the reaction has got a period of time after which it comes. Till it comes out, we do not know how that reaction is, right? Now, when we talk of this word karma and karma phala, there are two aspects to it, and we have to be clear about this, because when we are referring to karma and karma phala, we are referring to one particular aspect and not both the aspects. Now, what are the two aspects? Whenever there is an action and a reaction, there is always a visible part to it, right? So I sow a seed, I get a tree. Sowing seed is an action, a tree or a fruit coming is a reaction, and both are visible. I give my exams, I get the result, action, reaction. I go to work, I get my earnings at the end of the month, action, reaction. So this is an ongoing where the material part is always visible. And we never have a problem when we talk about the material aspect of it, because we know based on the type of the job, we need to give that much time. For example, if you take from conception, you cannot say that at the 5th month I want to see the child, then afterwards we'll put it back again. No, you can't do it. You'll have to wait for that 9 months, 9 days, then the child will come out. So that action and the reaction for it to see, it will take time. That much time you give it. If you want a coconut tree with coconuts to come and I plant a coconut into the ground, you will have to wait for years for that coconut to come. Correct? When we put all our efforts in our children, we are waiting for these efforts to fructify so that that child becomes a well educated, cultured, disciplined, grown up with fame, name, lot of money, comfort, and will also take care of us. At the back of the mind, there is a motive. There is a clear motive, right? So all these things are happening and it has a time period to it. Now let us take an example to understand these two aspects of karma. And be with me on the examples, because only when you are with me you will understand how this actually works. This is a little technical. Imagine you are standing on the road, on the side of the road. Suddenly someone comes and pushes you and you fall down. You have hurt yourself. Now, what has happened? A person comes, pushes you, there is an action. You falling down, there is a reaction. You may shout, there is a reaction. You have got hurt, there is a reaction for the action which the person pushed. Now when the person pushes you, as per Newton's third law, there is an equal and opposite reaction even to that person's hand. That person feels, and that gets nullified. So the action of push gets nullified by the reaction and the resistance, so that has got nullified. Correct? You have got hurt, that is an impact of the push, again got nullified. So all the visible things gets normally nullified. Now we will look at the other aspect to it, which normally doesn't be visible. And that is why when we talk of karma and karma phala, a very important term which we will be using in future, it is called adrishtam. Drishtam means visible, adrishtam means invisible. We are referring to adrishta karma phalam and not drishta karma phalam. We are referring to fruits of our karma which are invisible, and we are not referring to visible results of our efforts, because that will be visible to us and we have no problem about it. What is the problem is that invisible part which I do not know is creating a problem to me, so I need to know what it is. Okay, now let us look at what is this invisible part. When a person comes and pushes you, doesn't that person have a motive in the mind? I need to go and push for a particular reason. There is a motive, there is a goal. Simply he will not come and push. Correct? So that person had a motive. So there is a thought happening in the mind of that person, which is again a karma. Are we able to get it? Is it a drishta karma or adrishta karma? It is an adrishta karma. That becomes visible only through his actions or through his words, which becomes drishta. Correct? Now, having pushed the person or you, when you fall down, there is a certain experience or there is a certain reaction happening in your mind. You may shout at that person, you may feel, why the hell did he come and push me? Is he blind or what? Many thoughts would come. Oh, what a pain I have. This person is the cause of all my pain. See, there are so many thoughts which will come at that moment. These are actions again, which are drishta or adrishta. Adrishta. Now, tell me whether your adrishta reactions, can it nullify his adrishta motive? Is it possible? Are they at any point of time interfacing with each other? Never. So they will never get cancelled. Do we agree? Then how does it get cancelled? That means my motive is always with me and your reaction is always with you at the mental level. They never get cancelled each other. Actions may get cancelled, but motives don't get cancelled. Then what do we do? There are so many actions. Every action I do it with a motive. That means I keep on accumulating it. And the answer is yes. Oh my God. How many motives I have done till now, throughout my life, till this today. Now I'll tell you the secret. It is not just in this Janma. You are carrying it across millions of Janma which you have done earlier. Okay. Then how do I nullify it? Adrishtam karma phala has to be nullified only by adrishta reaction. Adrishtam karma can be nullified by adrishta karma phala. Correct? So when there is an adrishta karma which I have done, only by adrishta karma phala I will get to nullify it. And how does this adrishta karma phala come to me? Now, my motive can be two types. If the motive is good, then I say that I have earned one adrishtam which is called punya. Do we understand this? This punya is that intangible currency which gets earned because of the right motive. Okay? And if my motive is wrong, you know very clearly what do you earn? Papa, or a sin which is again intangible. Till now the concept is clear. So my intangible earnings are always with me, whether punya or papa. Okay? And it is not like our accountants. Credit and debit dono nullify करके zero. No. पुण्य के लिए you have to experience a punya effect. Papa के लिए you have to experience a papa effect. The punya and papa will never get nullified within the person just because they are opposite in sign. No. Okay. Now we will see what happens and how. Huh? जैसे ये आगे जाएगा, this becomes very interesting. Then how do I experience and nullify this? For which another jodi is given to us, which is again experienced but not visible, and that is called sukha and dukkha. So punya, which is adrishta karma, with time will give me sukha, which is adrishta experience. Papa, which is adrishta karma, with time will give me adrishta experience, which is called dukkha. Clear? Now do you understand how they are getting nullified? So my motive, whatever is there for all my karma, I have to only exhaust it by sukha and dukkha. The other person's reaction or motive or thought or whatever you want, you say, all that bundle that person has to exhaust by papa, by sukha or dukkha. And what happens if it is a mix? If I get a mixed experience, you know, khatta meeta, crackjack. If I get a crackjack experience, khatta meeta, then what is it called? It is called mishra karma phala, mixed. Can you give one example of such a mishra karma phala which we experience? Okay, I don't want you to unmute and say. I'll give an example. If everyone unmutes, it will be a problem. Just take a simple example of a child being born. A child being born to the mother. Is it painful? Yes. That means dukkham? Yes, I experience the pain. Do I also experience the pleasure of the child being born? Yes. That means my punyam has also got fructified. So when khatta meeta comes together, you experience sukha and dukkha together. So I can experience only sukha, I can experience only dukkha, I can experience khatta meeta. समझ में आ रहा है? Correct? Now how does this stuff work? Oh my God, who keeps an account of all this? That is where we'll see it is all programmed. तुम्हारा अंदर ही रहता है, किधर बाहर जाता ही नहीं है. अरे what happens when I die? We will see what happens when we die. We will see what is death, and that will come in Tattvabodha. You will see what is death. Okay, but right now let us look at a time frame, and let us call this as three different, in accounting there are different buckets. Suppose this full month, all my income expenditure I write in the ledger in one page. If the month changes, what do? Carry forward and the next page starts. Correct? Like that, in this Janma, whatever I get accrued punya papam, that is called Agami Karma Phala. You can write it. It is called Agami Karma Phala. Agami means which has come now to me. Why? Because of my own karma, this Agami Karma Phala, I can see that within this Janma itself. I can see. For example, I write an exam, I get a result. Agami Karma. Okay, while writing an exam, I was relaxed. When I get the result, I am happy. While writing the exam, I was tensed. Oh God, I am going to fail. And if by mistake you pass, then you are very happy. Okay, both are Agami. Now, whatever I was feeling bad while writing the exam is not the karma phala which is coming when you are getting the result. That time some other sukha dukkha is getting exhausted. Don't think that either जो पुण्य और पाप कमाया वही चीज immediately आ गया सुख दुख बोल के, इतना जल्दी होता नहीं है. Some other sukha dukkha you are supposed to experience at that time, so that gets fructified. So from an unmanifest it becomes manifest. You know how it is? If someone has a cancer and it comes in the age of 55, isn't that cancer already there in the DNA, which only comes out at the age of 55? Correct? Till that, where was it? It was in the potential form. It manifests only at that time. Same way, this karma phala is in a potential form, and when the right time comes, this great God, He will play and open it out. Correct? As a seed, it is in a dormant form, but the moment it is put onto a soil with some water, the seed immediately germinates. With the right time, it germinates. You don't have to do anything. Same way, karma phala germinates and comes out and manifests at the time when it has to get manifested. Till that, is it there? Very much there. Where? In me. In what form? Dormant form. Can I see it? No. Can I experience? No. Black box. Do we understand? This is how it is working now. So whatever I do in this Janma, and जो भी जमा पूंजी मेरा आ रहा है, all the plus and minus together, the punya and papa together, is called Agami Karma Phala. Okay. Then what happens when I die? Simple. I have already a big bank account which is there, accrued over Janmas. There is one bank account already, right? Correct? Bachpan mein there was one bank, it was called Sanchai Ka Bank. I don't know how many people remember, in my childhood we used to have some Sanchai Ka Bank in our own, inside the school itself. There used to be a bank where it was taught to you how to put money, how to save, you will get some interest, managed by children and some staff and all within the system. Sanchaita, it's to just accumulate. It's an accumulation, right? So Sanchita karma is accumulated karma over my millions and millions of janma. अब सोचो उसमें क्या क्या रहेगा. सिर्फ अभी नहीं, 500 janmas back I did something wrong and there was a papa and that is still sitting now. That means today I can experience because of that, if that is going to take that much time to fructify. समझ में आ रहा है? Is it possible or not possible? Very much possible. Does it really happen that way? We will call it that we do not know, it's a black box, but we have to give a theory so that you understand the karma theory in a proper way, because we have to see the effects and how to use the karma theory, not to check whether the karma theory is right and wrong and all. That doesn't make sense. Correct? If, for example, if you have been given a mobile, you don't go to see, break it and see how is that circuit of the mobile and what I need to use the mobile to benefit me. Same way the karma theory should benefit me. What is it really made up of, who does it and all, leave it. It doesn't matter actually. It doesn't matter. Even by knowing it, you are not going to achieve anything. Because what is to be achieved here is, how do I reduce this karma? How do I reduce the karma phala? That is the point here. And you can't reduce it because at every point of time, you are doing some karma. Right now, you are listening to me. If you are listening to me with full attention, this karma has also got an adrishta punyam as per the Shastra, and that punyam is getting credited to you. But at this time, if something else is going in your mind, apart from the Vedanta class, then automatically there is an adrishta papam which you are accruing, which will get fructified with time. It's such a simple thing, nothing more than that. That means whatever I am experiencing is a reflection of my past, what I have done. So I have no one else to blame but me, myself. Can I change the past? Answer is no. So whatever is there in Sanchita will be that way. Then what can I do? Can I keep on exhausting and not create new? I will exhaust, maximum exhaust. But the problem is, anything what I do, including sitting and listening to this Vedanta class also, unknowingly there is a punya or a papa which is getting generated. That means I can be without punya and papa only during sleep. Think about it. Only during sleep there is no punya and papa. That means I am not even exhausting sukha and dukkha. तो जो था वो वैसा ही रहेगा. सपोज ये जिंदगी भर सोया, आफ्टर डाइंग व्हाट विल हैपन? जो बचा था वो सब वापस उतना ही है. नथिंग हैज गॉट एडेड, नथिंग हैज गॉट रिड्यूस्ड. सो बाय दिस वे यू विल नेवर बी एबल टू एग्जॉस्ट इट. ओके, सो ऑल द जन्मास का जितना भी है दैट इज कॉल्ड संचिता. ये जन्म का जितना भी हम वी आर डूइंग एंड वी आर कलेक्टिंग इट एट द एंड ऑफ दिस जन्मा, इट इज कॉल्ड आगामी. एंड व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन आई डाई? दिस आगामी कर्म फला गोज एंड जॉइंस द संचिता. वो बड़ा बूटी हो जाते हैं, और है कि नहीं? सो इन दैट बिग ओशन अनदर फ्यू मोर ड्रॉप्स यू आर एडिंग, बिकॉज दैट इज फॉर मेनी जन्मास. उसमें ये जन्म का भी ऐड कर दिए. करेक्ट? देन व्हाट विल हैपन? सपोज यू डाई, then what will happen? Can you experience sukha and dukkha after death? Can anyone experience sukha and dukkha after death? People who are alive will experience. Some people will feel, oh my God, this person has died. What a dukkha. For the same death, someone else will feel, chalo baba, nikal gaya baba. Good. For that person it is actually sukha, दिखाएगा दुख, बट एक्चुअली अंदर से सुख है. समझ में आ रहा है ना? वो दिखाने का दुख इज एक्रूइंग पापा. डोंट फॉरगेट दैट. एनीथिंग व्हाट यू डू, यू आर गोइंग टू अटैच अनदर टेल टू इट. अंदर घुसते जा रहे हैं उसमें. करेक्ट? यू विल नेवर बी कमिंग आउट ऑफ इट. Next question you will ask, अरे for all these animals and trees and everyone, isn't there karma phala? हाँ, उनको भी कर्म फल है. अरे उनको सुख दुख है? Of course है. Don't you see दुख in a cat, in a dog? Don't you see sukha in a cat and a dog? You go and pat the dog is happy. Don't give food to the dog is sad. So they are also exhausting. That means everyone will have it. Yes, everyone will have it. Who all are alive, they all have this karma phala. Wow. That means can we transfer? Thoda mera, because I got married to you. Can you take a little of mine? ये चलेगा नहीं. No transfer business will happen. When your punya and papa cannot get nullified, when your sukha and dukkha cannot get nullified, then how can transfers happen? Not acceptable. सबका आधार कार्ड पैन कार्ड पक्का है. एक से ज़्यादा किसी को आधार कार्ड और पैन कार्ड नहीं मिलेगा. These two are very well connected और वो सिस्टम में उसको सीधा जाके उधर ही क्रेडिट डेबिट होते रहेगा, किधर गड़बड़ नहीं होएगा. Okay, that never it will happen. If that happens, this world will never be a cosmos, it will be a chaos. What we call law of nature is nothing but our karma phala. We will expand this law of nature to our karma phala. Okay. Then how do I get a janma? I am dead now. And I have got a booty of sanchita karma. Then what happens? Here comes our hero, Mr. Ishwar. Mr. Ishwar is called Karma Phala Data. Bhagavan is called Karma Phala Data. What does he do? He removes a certain karma phala. Out of that booty, he will remove few. ये क्या है, नया स्टोरी बोला, अभी तक तो लॉजिक है. Suddenly you are telling me that it's a fairy tale. That means he will do what he feels like. No. He has got his plan. Why is he removing that? Okay. Because he has to maintain this law of nature. So he knows what needs to be removed from where and what needs to be given to whom. From your own sanchita karma, he will pick out which will be a mix of punya papa together, and you will get a birth to exhaust it by sukha and dukkha. Okay, unless I get born into this universe either as animals or trees or human being, something I need to be born as, at least an amoeba. Without that I cannot exhaust it. So this is the cause for your next janma, and this booty of punya and papa which Bhagavan removes is called prarabdha. Now we understand why we call this mera prarabdha hai. You say this is my fate. No, it is not your fate which is given by Bhagavan. He has only picked out something which you have created for yourself. Do you get the difference? Prarabdha is one portion of the sanchita which Bhagavan removes, and that gets connected to this janma. That means when the prarabdha starts, you are alive, and once the prarabdha ends, you also die. And across from the life, from birth to death, these prarabdha will start manifesting out at time as sukha and dukkha, where you are exhausting it. And when you are exhausting it, don't forget you are creating a karma, and that becomes agami. समझ में आ रहा है? So I am always in this cycle. Yes, you are always in this cycle. That is why you have millions of janma already done. We do not know how many nth janma you are sitting here now. No one knows that. If we consider, because the problem is, we will say if the cause of my this janma is prarabdha, how did I get the first janma? If this question doesn't come, we will put this question to you. Are, if you are telling my karma phala is the cause of my janma, how did I get the first janma? And without my first janma, how did I do karma? Correct? Now this is a big problem. And that is why we tell that as per our Shastra, there is nothing called first Janma. So far as you look at these cycles to be a linear one, I start somewhere and I end somewhere, you will have a problem. It will not fit. Suppose I take whatever you consider as the first one and whatever you consider as the last one and join them together. What happens? It becomes cyclic. In a circle, tell me which is the start and which is the end. There is no start and end. Getting it? So, this karma and janma is a cyclic one. No one knows when it started and when it will end. My God, this is something you are fooling us. We know this world started with the Big Bang theory. We have caught you. Where were karma before that? You should ask such a question. Then only you are thinking. Before the Big Bang theory, where is your karma philosophy? What nonsense are you talking? Are you able to get this point? It's only after this universe comes, what you say is true, right? Before the universe, where it was. And for which, I will take an example of a movie. That time, Shastras did not have this movie, so they were having tough time to explain. But we have movies now. It's very easy to see it. How many people have seen Ice Age? Raise your hand. What happens in Ice Age? Always in every Ice Age, 1, 2, 3, it starts with something and it ends with something. Uska beech mein the whole thing changes, but the start and end doesn't change. What is the start? There is a nut and there is a squirrel. Correct? They both are separated because they are frozen and they are in that, right? Slowly something happens where it breaks and the squirrel starts moving towards the nut. That's it. Then it's a nut case. Till when? Till again the nut and the squirrel freezes. Back to ice. Are we getting it? In between ye sab ho raha hai. That means now I look at a Srishti and a Pralaya. The Srishti comes when the squirrel and the nut gets changed. And Pralaya comes when it goes back to again a place where it cannot move. Obviously, the position in which the nut and the squirrel was there at the earlier picture needs to be the starting point for the sequel, right? Think about it. That has to be the starting point for the next movie. Ice Age 2 will start from where Ice Age 1 stopped. Correct? So, did you require new ingredients for Ice Age 2? No. So what happened to all our karma phalas together? Consolidated karma phala. They froze. And when the next Srishti comes, again Mr. Ishvara has the job to give the similar. Suppose we say, yes, Srishti mein to chalo gaya, chala gaya. Agla Srishti mein everything becomes equal. Sabko equally baatega. Sorry. Then you will call him partial. If you are at a net negative, you are happy. But if you are at net positive, you will say, I don't want to give my karma phala to someone else. Samajh mein aa raha hai? I don't want to give my karma phala. Even in the Srishti goes, theek hai, agla Srishti mein I want that back to me only. And he can never break the law. Why? He is a part of this universe and he is not sitting outside and controlling the universe. The only difference between all the other philosophy and our philosophy is our God is a part of the system, generates from the system, being in the system operates it, and being in the system destroys it, including his own destruction. We understand? That is the difference in our God versus others who have got a concept called God. So if you are a part of the system, you will never break it. Only when you are outside the system, you have a chance to break it. So our Ishvara will never break this law. Are we able to get this concept of karma phala? So see how we started with a motive and an action. We slowly went to multiple janmas, then we move to Srishti Pralaya cycles, and this will continuously be on. That means इससे मुझे छुटकारा नहीं है क्या? 100% है. And what is the answer? Vedanta class is the answer. इससे छुटकारा मिलता है? Come to Vedanta. With Tattvabodha you will know छुटकारा का option क्या है. That I will give you the secret only in Tattvabodha. Not now. But छुटकारा है. That means karma is anadi. Anadi means doesn't have a start. It's on. Is it anantam? No. It has got antam. For which you will have to put an effort. And that effort can make it antam. Okay. Bhagavad Gita also mentions this very clearly. Yathaidamsi samiddhognihi bhasmasat kuruterjana jnanagni sarvakarmani bhasmasat kurute tatha. When you do in the jnana agni, all your karma phalas you put, they also become bhasma, and you can get rid of that big pottery of millions of janma in this one janma called human janma. Now do you understand what is this main purpose of human janma? You have got a golden opportunity to burn off all your karma phala, but instead of that we end up creating more karma phala because we are that squirrel who is running behind the nut. If we leave the nut, then there won't be a problem. But we are behind the nut, that means there is going to be sukha and dukkha now. Because we are creating karma phala. The srishti will come, everything will happen. You can ask a question. If everyone becomes moksha, then what happens? Bhagavan says, if you feel you are smart, no. Because of your karma phala, only few of you can get moksha. Others don't get. तो मेरा धंधा चालू रहेगा. Correct? I have to ensure my business works. So Bhagavan ensures his business works. It's called a going concern. चलते ही रहेगा, कभी बंद नहीं होएगा. Correct? तुम्हारा GDP ऊपर जाने दो, नीचे आने दो, ना कुछ फर्क नहीं गिरा. कोविड आया, बहुत सारा टक टक उड़ा दिया. New janmas will come, that many. धंधा चालू भगवान का. Are we able to get this, an overall idea of what this karma phala is? So what is the option I have? If I have more punya karma in my sanchita, the probability is I will get more sukha in my janma. That's a probability, huh? That's not an assurance. Imagine it was a bad day when Bhagavan decided to remove exclusively papam from your sanchita and give you one life. Then dukhatma, dukhi atma ही है, जिंदगी भर रोते रहेंगे. कितना भी तुम अच्छा अभी करो, doesn't matter. Life will be a cry because you are now exhausting that papa karma which has been done earlier. To that extent, you will get cleaner in your sanchita karma. We understand? To that extent, it will become cleaner. But you have to still experience it. We ask a question now. Why this happened only to me? Now you will start getting answers for all this. Twins born to the same parents, both having differences. How can it be possible? Look at the nature. From one seed, from one mango seed, a mango tree comes. From one mango tree, many mangoes come. Does all the mango fructify at the same time? सभी एक टाइम पे पिकते हैं क्या? You need a gardener who goes through the mangoes and the mango tree every day with his experience, he plucks only those which can get ripened at a point of time, then segregates them, then packs them. So some are semi-ripened, some are very ripe, some are still raw, and some cannot be even plucked from the tree because it requires some more time to start ripening further. Do we understand? It's just growing. So from one seed, how many varied seeds have got formed? Possible, right? And you need a gardener to segregate this. Otherwise, imagine there was no gardener and you go and pay money, and if you get all kacha aam, none of them tasty, you will never go to buy aam, right? And that variety Ishvara gives us. The month of March, I like the same aam called kairi. In the month of May, if you give me kairi, I will not like it. I will prefer to have ripened aam. In the month of October, if you give me the aam, I may think twice, what are you giving me? Are you fooling me? I would prefer to have aam ras. Correct? So we know what has to be used when, and Ishvara also segregates and gives us which is good for us at that time. And that we have to bhoga, experience it as sukha and dukkha, and nullify it. Are we understanding this karma theory clearly? Yes? One nice example. Sorry. Okay. One nice example is, many of us, we go on tours in our official work. That means we are used to going by flights. Then we stay in hotels. And every place where you go, you pay through your credit card, you stay in the hotel, you pay through the card, you go by the flight. But after every successful flight and a stay, you get some adrishtam given by them, which are called brownie points. You get some points. Samajh mein aa raha hai? That is drishtam or adrishtam? Adrishtam. Then what I have to do? Once I accumulate a lot, then I, that Ishvara, decides now it is time to fructify. Otherwise, I will start losing the points. So what I do? That is the time I become very intelligent. I take 2 days off or 4 days off, and I tell the family, come on, let's all go out. I will book for you in the best of the hotels. We will all go by flight. And everyone will say, wow, kya baat hai. You know, you are just utilizing the punyam which you have already earned for sukham. Think about it. And when you go there, without paying anything, hardly anything for the food you pay, the flight is free, the room is free, you start enjoying the sauna, everything there, the gym, the sauna, the swimming pool, everything is free for you. And based on your platinum member, your gold member, your super duper member, whatever that membership is, accordingly sukham keeps on changing. 7-star is different, 3-star is different. Correct? If you go in first class, in the flight it is different. Correct? Even the crockery is different that time. खाना भी अलग आता है. And कितना अच्छा लगता है तभी सोचने को, अरे रोज उधर बैठते थे, एक बार अपग्रेड हुआ तो शाह उधर क्या आता है यार, वो प्लास्टिक का सब आते रहता है, disposable one, इधर देखो, nice, someone comes and puts a cloth there. See what sukham it gives? Exactly. And you know when to use it up. So you are the Ishvara to utilize your adrishta punyam earned, don't tell anyone, because of official work. Not because of yours. If the office would not have given such a, ideally where should it go? to the office, right? Yes or no? How many people go and tell the office that I have got so many brownie points, you please allow someone to go there? Because it is official, not mine. No, 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 no. I will use it. समझ में आ रहा है how karma phala works now? Non-transferable. Correct? Non-transferable. If you have to transfer to someone, then there is a process for it. If you have to buy, you have to pay more to buy. Correct? क्या क्या ये सब all these gimmicks they have learned from our karma theory only. Correct? That time acharyas did not have this example. This is a very good example for us to understand the karma theory. Think about it. Now we have all this. Correct? So all the same way, your credit card and debit card, do you see actual material cash in it? No. If it is a credit card and you have already exhausted all your limits, then it is punyam or papam now. Time has come to repay papam, fructifying. Correct? When you are buying it on credit, punyam, fructifying. नमक खाया तो पानी पीना पड़ेगा, कभी पीना पड़ेगा और टाइम दिखाएगा, but you have to. So it gets nullified. Are we able to get this concept of adrishtam part in karma phala, not the drishtam part? Okay. So the bottom line and the knowledge coming out of this is, whenever I am doing anything, let my motive be pure. Let my motive be positive, so that I earn punyam, so that the chances of me and the probability of me getting sukham is more. Right? Now there are more twists in all this, which we will see in Tattvabodha. Tattvabodha में इसमें और twist आएगा. Okay, this is a basic theory. This theory is expected to be known, because after this only the Tattvabodha starts working. You have to know the theory. Okay, good. So this is all about karma theory. Now, if you all have any questions, ask. Otherwise, I still have one small topic which was stopped in between, and many people said that I have abruptly stopped it. They are not very clear. Difference between mantra and shloka. And when can we learn mantra? When can we learn mantra? There is an itch inside. So I would want to just quickly touch on that, if there are no questions on all the topics which we have shared till now.
Hello sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
So when we say having a good motive, or when we are exhausting our karma phala, so whenever there is a time or tough times, I would say, so does that mean that we still need to have good thoughts on our mind and everything? I mean, theoretically yes, but then is it really I would say possible or practical, and how do we get there actually?
Yeah. Okay. This will be a part of Tattvabodha.
Perfect. Okay.
We will learn this in
Thank you.
Tattvabodha. Surely, yes. That is the whole thing that the Shastra teaches.
Mhm.
What should be our motive and outlook? Okay. At good and bad times.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
We'll surely touch upon it. Yeah. We'll touch upon it. Any other?
Sure. Thank you. No, I'm good. Thank you.
Any other questions to anyone?
Sir,
Yeah.
can you explain Sanchit Karma again?
Sanchit karma is that, okay, whenever you have some idea of what accountancy, little idea?
No, sir.
No. Okay, simple. Let us take it from a housewife's perspective of accountancy. It will be very easy. Suppose I get, say, 10,000 rupees to manage the house. Suppose, it's just, let's take some numbers so that you understand the concept. Then in that 10,000 rupees, you have saved about 1,000 rupees somewhere. That old times, ye dabba mein thoda dal ke rakha, wo dabba mein. सो डीमोनेटाइजेशन आया तो फिर मालूम पड़ा कि 500 का नोट सब जगह पड़ा था, 1000 का नोट सब जगह पड़ा था. Okay, like that. Imagine that you have kept something. So after the first month you have saved 1000, correct? Then next month again, what did you get? 10,000, correct? Out of that you will save how much? 1000. Now how much do you have? 2000. 2000 from how many months? 2 months. So in 12 months how much did you save? 12,000. Like that you did for 12 years. You have already saved 1,44,000 rupees. But every month you are getting only 10,000. Huh? Are you able to get? This 1,44,000 is because of how many years? 12 years. 12 into 12 months is what you have saved, right? How many janmas? So like that you exhausted by sukha dukkha. There is a balance at the end of the month that gets carried forward and put onto the main bank. That main bank which has got for all the janmaska into it is called sanchita karma. We have to give it a name. It's just a name. Okay. Hopefully you are able to understand. It's a cumulative of all the janmas is called sanchit. Only for this janma is called agami. The reason of this janma is called prarabdha. Okay.
Particular this janma is agami karma.
Sorry?
For particular this janma,
Correct.
it is agami karma phala.
Correct. Agami karma.
और
In this,
बाकी का पूरा यदि जन्मों का ले तो वो संचित कर्म.
correct. Correct.
Sir,
Hmm.
kindly explain कि at the time of मतलब जब हम अपने कर्मों को भोग रहे हैं, पुण्य कर्मों को या पाप कर्मों को, तो भोग करते समय फिर से कर्म कैसे हो रहे हैं और संचय उसका बढ़ रहा है, वो बात जरा समझाइए.
अच्छा, अभी आप बताइए, गिव मी वन एग्जाम्पल आपका भोगने का, एक एनी एग्जाम्पल, जस्ट गिव मी एन एग्जाम्पल सो दैट आई कनेक्ट टू दैट एंड टेल यू. सपोज आपका एक कोई कर्मफल अभी फ्रक्टिफाई हुआ और आप भोग रहे, यू कैन टॉक ऑफ एनी गुड वन ऑल्सो. चलो अच्छा वाला भी बोलो. वाई ओनली बैड एंड दुख? सुख वाला बताना.
तो बहुत दिनों की जिज्ञासा थी वेदांत दर्शन पढ़ने की.
हाँ.
वो समझिए पूरी हो रही है. मैं यहाँ बैठा हूँ
ठीक.
और आपका लेक्चर सुन रहा हूँ.
ठीक है. अभी यहाँ पे आपको सुख महसूस हो रहा है?
हाँ.
सुख महसूस हुआ तो क्या होगा? When your mind is feeling good, what will happen to the mind?
It will resolve.
It will resolve or it will reduce the alertness.
In a sense, reduce the alertness.
So what will happen to Vedanta learning?
That will be disturbed.
Correct. Which means my karma, new karma which has got generated is lower attention because of my sukha, which has created a negative impact of what I wanted to be the goal, right? Think about it. I had another option not to feel elated and feel very good. I can still be in an equipoise mind.
Oh.
What will happen to alertness at that time?
It will remain there.
Exactly. That means only by responding to sukha and dukkha, we get
With
trapped.
equanimity.
We get trapped. If you don't respond to sukha and dukkha, mind remains equipoise. So we will learn this in Tattva Bodha in detail.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
I got it, sir.
Yeah.
Navanama, one small question.
Yeah.
That there is a motive behind the action.
Hmm.
Now define it as good or bad.
Hmm.
Is it not very subjective? What is good and what is bad?
Okay. So you take any example and exactly no one needs to define it. Huh? Your motive, you know it. If your motive is pure, you know it. If your motive is impure, only you know it. पुण्य और पाप कोई बाहर से नहीं बताता है, हमें खुद लगता है. When it comes back as a guilt, it is papa. What is guilt? Considering that to be right, we do certain things which over a period of time comes back and hits at us very badly and stands naked in front of our eyes, and we start thinking, did I do it? That is guilt. So there is no third person to check all these. It is you yourself. So there is no subjectivity at all in this.
Thanks.
I'll give you an example. If a person takes a knife and cuts, if he is a thief and if he is a surgeon, do you need someone to say, if the surgeon cuts it with a motive to make more money, he is worse than the thief? And no one outside will know it except him, because only he will know his motive. Why did he do that? Not necessary, still I cut. He is worse than a thief. A thief comes to cut for clearly a material gain. This person is fooling you for the material gain. Worse than a thief. Thief in the form of a doctor. Huh? See now. But if he is doing it genuinely to operate and you have to be better, then that cut becomes a punya. There is no third person to decide this. Huh? Suppose I do something and I never felt guilty about it. Even for an iota of time, I always felt I am doing right. How much ever the world says it is papa, it will never become a papa, because you have done it with the right motive. Period. You know, this is exactly, I should not be touching this topic, but this is exactly what a person gives his life for jihad. Think about it.
That was the question behind my
That is the motive for that person. He feels that absolutely no guilt. Correct?
Yes.
But on a 100% absolute scale, taking life is a guilt or not a guilt. In this Janma he will not, but in some other Janma he will feel about it. When he goes through a pain, that is the time he will realize that what his ignorance was there has cost him this. Right? You know, for this our teachers teach one thing. The people who ask you to become a jihadi, okay, and how we define a jihadi is one who has given his life for this, right? Is a jihadi is what I will, absolute jihadi is a person who has given the life. The person who tells you to become a jihadi is convinced that he will not be a jihadi. That is why he pushes you to give the life and he doesn't go to give the life. Think about it. The person who trains you to become a jihadi has not given his life, is motivating you to give the life, sitting outside telling that you swim, you will go, you will get gold medal. He has never put his leg into the water. Think about it. Has he ever taken a bomb on him and gone and blasted it? No. If he would have got blasted, he would never come and tell this, right? He would be dead. That means this theory is fooling each other. Try to understand it from a karma perspective. Keep the religion out. So knowingly that person is fooling the other person into something, keeping him ignorant. Yes or no? Whereas in our system, if we say that the jnanam can give you liberation, a person who is a jnani only will tell that, because he has already done it. Let's assume moksha, jihad gives you moksha, jnanam gives me moksha. Okay, there are two ways to get moksha. If we assume it, that way is self-fooling. Think about it. It is not sustainable to a logic, and hence is a papa karma. if that person ignorantly feels what he is doing is right, unknowingly he is accruing papa karma. Does it make sense? Nothing to do with any religion. Huh? Understand, as human beings we have been given an intellect to evaluate this. Not using the intellect and getting colored by the intellect itself is fructification of our papa karma, which is dulling the intellect. Think about it. What made me see a person who gets into this was never born this way, right? Some circumstances he has moved to this. What was that circumstance? That is the place where his karma fructified him to go to a wrong path. How did that come? Because of some grave karma which he has done earlier. Think about it. Correct? So that is why that karma is making him ignorant and very gullible, that whoever is taught him, he is accepting blindly. And this blind faith is what we call fanatic. Here we say, inquire till your intellect gets satisfied. Never blindly believe it. It doesn't, because it's not going to work. This janma will go. What about the next janma? For them there is no next janma. Jannat. Jannat se wapas niche nahi aana hai. It will always be there. For us, we are always coming down. Huh? Okay. So getting this concept, the theory itself is a different way. You have to look at it. Okay. Again, nothing to go about religions or anything. Our idea is to understand from karma theory what motive and how it gets connected. And I'll do my best to explain. But of course, there will be, surely in karma theory, there will be millions of cases which may not have answers. And for that, we only say one thing. Some papa karma or punya karma has got fructified. That is what is visible now. Over. Don't break your head more than that. Understand this cause effect and use the cause effect rather than going too much into the cause effect, because it's a black box. We need a theory for our intellect to go ahead. Use the theory, and then afterwards I will tell you, we are going to discard and throw this theory. I am telling you the secret right now. You have to learn the theory so that you can use the theory and throw it later on. अरे बाप रे, ये क्या बोल दिया? You have to learn it to throw it. Then why should I learn it? Because without learning you can't throw it. And only by throwing it you will know what is the benefit, which we will see later on. Clear? Okay, chalo. We'll stop it here. It's already 9:07. It's already getting late. Next time we will start Tattva Bodha. But just in 2 minutes, I would want to tell about this mantra and shloka so that people have that clarity, and then we will go ahead with the topic. I will be forwarding you a text in Sanskrit which will have only the shlokas in it, the verses in it, and we will take one by one verse and we will start it. So hopefully the 9th class we will start Tattva Bodha during Navaratri time. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Another one more thing is, hopefully you all do not want a chutti for starting of Navratri. I don't think anyone is going to go for dandiya and all. So let us spend.
No, not needed, sir.
Exactly. So let us spend. In case many people say they want a chutti just for the break. Chalo ek break chahiye. 8-9 class ho gaya. We want a break. No problem. If many people want a break, we will take a break. But Navratri is a good time. We should continue with it and maybe take a break later on. We are just going to enter the topic now. Yeah, chaliye. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hari Om, sir.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hari Om.
Thank you.